Reserve time.
Yeah, so LGD has the overall first pick this time. Last time it was CDEC with the Spirit Breaker. I think they're going to get it again if they want it. But that would probably be my...
Yeah, it wasn't as impactful as you would expect the first pick to be. It's a good hero by all means, but it also blocks up one of their other go-to heroes that will be banned later on in the draft. Anyway.
Still forced LGD in a direction. I think part of the reason they picked the Rubik was to counter the Spirit Breaker, and the Rubik ended up being really, really weak in that game.
There was an Earthshaker and a Queen of Pain on the other side, so...
It was still useful for the spell steals. But
This is an awfully long time for the first ban.
And it also put them in that position again where they had the last pick, Phantom Lancer.
Okay.
Oh, there we go. Okay.
CDEC, turn to
So
ban.
immediately off the bat, Trolls is wrong.
Actually, what I was going to say, and this is no joke, I was going to say if LGD do ban something else than the four we talked about, it's either Breaker or Shaker, but not both. So their second ban will still be a meta ban, I
Is
think.
that what you would have said as well if you were wrong?
No, I'm stupid. That's what I'm like.
Ah, we shut Jacob down again, didn't we?
All right, then.
SF ban, no surprise there.
Should be,
10 seconds remaining.
I think, Tusk from LGD, and then... Oh, no, they're going to ban Undying.
5 seconds
CDC
remaining.
love playing Undying, and else they're going to force them to pick between Undying and Doom. All right, never mind. Let's play some different Dota.
Oh, what? Okay.
Could be for Visage. Jaro's pretty good against Visage.
So as I was saying earlier, LGD probably have a hard time figuring out how to take CDC out of their comfort zone in terms of strategizing. This could be one of them.
5 seconds remaining.
Ban Aggressive's two most popular heroes.
Spirit Break?
Reserve
aggressive.
time.
You said it.
I said his two most popular heroes. I'm talking about Gyro. You obviously don't ban PL first round.
Oh, right, okay.
And they're not going to pick it in the first set most likely, so you're just a step behind. You almost got it.
No, I just didn't follow why you would say ban the two and then Spirit Breaker is one of the bans.
This is amazing. I actually don't have to burn Jacob anymore. Purge just does it himself.
There we go. Undying. All right, we got 2 out of 4.
Not bad.
LGD's
Now we
turn
get
to
the...
I'm prone to believe they'll go for the Tusk rather than the Doom. And I'm sure they're gonna prove me wrong in a second.
Watch them pick PL first.
That would be bad.
I don't think CDEC will get Tusk and Doom, though. So LGD can probably get something entirely different and then settle for one of the two others. Okay. No, maybe I should just be quiet for this draft. I used up everything on the previous one.
Yeah, you got the last 2 picks right, and that's it now. That's you're done. Your quota is done.
So Doombringer, Queen of Pain.
There is still a
Wait, why
Darkseer in
wasn't-
the pool, so we may see them not pick up the Doom at all.
But with Spirit Breaker gone, is that... Do you really still want to rely on that? Unless these teams are thinking about picking Brood.
So the thing is, with the current pool and these 2 offlane players, there's a lot of heroes that they like playing, so
10
Clockwork and
seconds
Darkseer
remaining.
still in the pool. Maybe you don't want to waste, and I put that in
5
quotation marks,
seconds
Yeah.
remaining.
waste a pick on the Doombringer right now.
There's so many tier 1 picks here, I feel like
Reserve
it's...
time.
Queen of Pain is
Safer
definitely
to
high
play
up right now for me.
Yeah. And I think the reason CDC are starting to take extra time was that they were expecting a Doom pick. That's what they were already planning for. All right, LGD will take Doom. We'll get our Tusk +1. That's the quad.
CDEC, turn to pick.
I don't know how comfortable they are playing against Doom.
I don't know if they expect them to pick Doom. They might go for a Hail Mary play and just think that LGD won't pick it up and go for a Darkseer instead.
We'll get banned second round
Darkseer,
then.
Shaker. Yeah. CDC are exceptionally good with both those heroes, so
10 seconds remaining.
Okay.
so they're gonna pick Wyvern. Yeah.
One of the best supports
LGD's turn
currently being
to
played.
pick.
Still no Slardar, of course. Probably won't see it.
Definitely won't see it. And a very broad pool of offlane heroes still available.
It's looking to be a good AM game.
This could be in LGD's favor though. They get to decide which offlane hero they want, and then they could ban out the other 2 and sort of put CDC on the back foot.
The
10
3 you're talking
seconds
about are
remaining.
Clockwork, Darkseer, and
Doombringer.
I mean, there's still like
5
Earthshaker and stuff
seconds
like that. But
remaining.
There is.
Reserve time.
Using up so much time. They only have 55 seconds left. Alina, okay.
LGD's turn to ban.
So pretty good against Queen of Pain. Very good against Cold Embrace as well, because you can generally nuke through that. Can protect Lina a little bit. I like the openings for both teams, really. Neither gives away too much.
10 seconds remaining.
I feel
I
like
think we might see LGD actually ban PL this phase.
5
this
seconds
time around.
remaining.
After the Brood.
CDEC's turn to
I think
ban.
PL is really good against Tusk. You can't trap him with Ice Shards. If you go in with Snowball, it's pretty easy to either create space for the Doppelganger or even dodge it entirely if you time it right. Lina is pretty good
LGD
early on, similar
turn
to
to
how
ban.
Gyro was good early on last game, and then it's just super difficult later on to deal with. You might just play it safe with that ban.
I'd actually completely forgotten about the Brood Mother. It could have gone horribly wrong for LGD.
10 seconds remaining.
So I'm glad they didn't.
Darkseer is still in for CDC.
5 seconds remaining.
That would be another good ban for LGD, I guess.
Reserve time.
do they bother though with the heroes they have? I mean, they already banned Broods, so Darkseer's obviously still good. I guess it works with Winter Wyvern really well. So and they're spending a lot of time in this draft.
Well, it is just outside of the comfort zone of both teams, I think. This is such a different banning stage that picking becomes a lot harder because you need to evaluate all of the heroes that you actually still let through.
CDEC's
The
turn
bounty
to
hunter
ban.
goes again. It's 2 games in a row as well.
Ember is still in too.
Bounty makes sense. The mid matchup's pretty even, so Bounty in either way could really mess it up.
Ten seconds remaining.
Okay, Doom does finally get banned.
And the Darkseer comes straight away.
So they banned the Doom
LGD's
to
turn
allow
ban.
themselves to pick Darkseer. It's one of the best counters. Doom purges Surge, and then of course you can't do anything afterwards. CDC still have the option of going with something very classic for them at TI5, which is of course that Phantom Lancer. They've also banned out Anti-Mage, or they could go for the Ember on aggressive as well.
10 seconds
I'm very
remaining.
curious to see what LGD's plan is here. Considering they've given CDC a
CDEC's turn to pick.
tremendous amount of 5-on-5 AoE and decent lane control on all 3 lanes, so... And still, yet again, within their comfort zone.
I like the Dazzle pick, limits some of the CDEC burst here. Night Stalker good against Lina, good against Dazzle. I like that pick a lot.
He's very good with the Ion Shell.
Yeah,
I don't think they would have picked it if it wasn't for the Ion Shell.
yeah, they would have been limit on damage.
So now they're gonna probably get 2 melee cores that can utilize Ion Shell. So Night Stalker, well, he is a support in this game, I guess, but 2 melee heroes. Night Stalker will get a shell, and the other one will be aggressive. So either Ember or well, EL. I
10
don't see any
seconds
other pick
remaining.
that CDC would rate over that. It's actually surprising to me they get Night
seconds
Stalker, not
remaining.
because it's a bad pick, but I just haven't seen CDC play this hero so much in general.
Reserve time.
They have played it before though.
Yeah, and with the Spirit Breaker and the Bounty Hunter banned out, it is the third of those kind of heroes.
10 seconds remaining.
Oh, right. I see.
CDEC's
Okay,
turn to
that's
ban.
a bit out of place. A lot of teams have been picking Bristleback against things like Wisp Tiny, very situational cases, but LGD did really need a tanky hero in some ways this heavily counters the Winter Wyvern. If you're running at a team and you get
10
ulted,
seconds remaining.
your allies are probably going to be behind you, so they'll take reduced damage there.
5 seconds remaining.
He's not the best versus Darkseer in lane though, so I've seen some matchups where, like Nanyang for example, Ice got a ton of kills on a solo Bristleback. So it's definitely possible to exploit that matchup.
No Tower's played it twice so far this major, won both games with it. And
LGD's
the other one was
turn to
Cuckoo
ban.
and lost on the Bristol.
So Clockwork left over for LGD, I guess.
Just got banned out.
Oh, I'm sorry, I was thinking.
10 seconds remaining.
What offlaners did they have left then?
5 seconds remaining.
Who's to say it's not an offlane Bristol?
It's a PL bay.
Solo off.
Ember.
CDEC, turn to pick.
Now I redeem
Has to be
myself.
an Ember.
I mean, it's the obvious choice. There's been so many obvious choices in this draft, and none of them happened apart from the Darkseer pick, I feel. So
I don't like Ember versus Bristle that much, because he can just turn his back
No.
to the chains and stuff.
Aggressive actually plays a good Slardar, and that is still in. And that's a good hero against Bristle, so they might pull it out for that reason. It's also great with Iron Shell.
Yeah, he really should pick Slark.
Slardar is great here.
10 seconds remaining.
Did you say Slark?
No.
Because that's also good. And Aggressive also plays that one, actually. They did try it at TI5 against EG in the finals. They lost, but I think he played well.
I don't like it against Lina, Bristle.
Reserve time.
It's the Ember.
Okay.
LGD's
Is it your cue?
turn to pick.
I'll just do it for you, I guess. Got the pick, come on, man.
Just too used to it.
Final pick. Where are we going?
I honestly have no idea what LGD is going for here.
They have really weak disables
10
for Ember
seconds
Spirit.
remaining.
Does RTK play Bristle? Because they can still dual lane off lane that and then go for something entirely different for the safe lane.
It's not bad with Tusk. They could close the gap, get a mango on
Reserve
ROTK, get a bunch of stacks on one of the heroes. Although Night Stalker has high armor, so it's a little iffy, but
Okay,
Alright.
this is his last
a
off lane.
little bit more standard Earthshaker. Right, okay. Teams are ready, lineups are ready, and so are our commentary team. LD, it's all yours.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back. LD and Merlini here. We are live in the Mesa in Frankfurt, getting ready for game number 2. LGD trailing CDEC 0-1. Ben, that last game felt like the execution was just better from CDEC.
Aggressive is a monster.
Yes, he is.
Is his Ember Spear better or his Phantom Lancer?
Well, he certainly played more PL, I believe, but with this draft, like, it's just easy for Ember. You got the Ion Shell, you get other heroes to run in first, and the Night Stalker, you just clean up. I'm actually terrified for LGD.
I'm very surprised they didn't ban it last.
Yeah, also a little surprised they banned the Bounty Hunter over the Darkseer. Bounty is a hero that CDEC like to run, but at the same time, they already had strong defensive heroes. In the Tusk, the Dazzle, something that they were clearly looking for as well, and well, now they have that devastating combo to go with the Ion Shell, the Ember Spirit later on in the draft, and just the big AoE combo as well.
Maybe they wanted to really hope that maybe gets out of control and the Bounty Hunter can prevent that.
He even had a pretty decent start last game. He was at least marginally ahead in the mid lane, but it didn't seem to matter when the clutch moments popped up.
Okay, CDEC don't want the same start in their safe lane as last game. Already TPing down and realizing that that Observer Ward, it was just like, okay, we can't pull. What are we supposed to do for the first 5 or 6 minutes of the game? Luckily, ROTK gave them a kill, but without that, they would have just been so under-leveled and under-farmed.
Oh man, this vision they have is great off the bat. One Observer Ward up in the Dire Woods. Not something that you generally look to D-ward
Did
unless
someone TP there to drop
he,
that
I
one on
believe,
top?
TP'd mid and then ran up the river to plant it.
It's a pretty smart move. Now they're almost guaranteed bottom row.
Well, last game it
30
felt like
seconds
LGD
to
might have had the slightly better warding situation overall on the laning stage, but this game, things looking really nice for CDEC. This is just a standard lane ward up top for the Dire. Now, we'll be XC on the offlane Darkseer here. Curious to see where Garter looks to go and which lane they want to pressure. Generally, that Night Stalker Darkseer do work together once the first night hits, as the horn will sound, and we're underway. Game 2, LGD versus CDEC has begun.
The battle begins.
Is Siler actually going mid?
Guess so. Yeah, he's got a little money saved up here. So they are going to run the Dazzle Bristle dual lane potentially, at least starting with the creep block mid for now. This does leave RTK in the offlane Shaker, something that has not really worked much this tournament, Ben. It feels like you just kind of forfeit the lane to the enemy carry and they get free farm. And a lot of teams have started to shy away from it.
Yeah, it's just very hard to do anything as an Earthshaker aside from block creeps.
Carter already exchanging some blows here with DDC. Gets the Shadow Wave off, but just keeps on going anyway. As there is a little pursuit onto XC in the top lane of the Darkseer. Everybody's skirmishing. Sylar the one that might be in trouble though, being chased down the river by Shiki. Has his level 2, there is a salve. Really looking to pressure. He's gonna commit that blink and dives even further onto Sylar, looking for the first blood. Up the cliff he goes. He is gonna sell, but the auto attack cancels it. Sylar's in all kinds of trouble. He ticks down to the poison. And Shiki gets off to a hot start mid. What the hell just happened there?
Just a long chase by them. I was actually initially wondering why they would pair the Bristleback and the Dazzle versus the Queen of Pain as opposed to the Lina. I guess maybe they thought that they couldn't secure Bristleback's farm versus the Darkseer Island Shell, but I mean, Queen of Pain is just free to buy a magic stick and have her way in the mid lane, and especially with that Observer Ward already up there to see what exactly is going on with their support line. This is just the time of Shiki's life.
Yeah, Shiki, not often known for really dominating the lane unless he has that Lina and occasionally the Queen of Pain in the right matchup, but he's off to a hot start now. Should have a much easier time. Already the 4 denies as well. So looking at the other lanes, it is an offlane Darkseer. Ben really not being contested here, already level 3. RTK struggling a bit more, has hit 2.5 though.
Might come under trouble at the rune.
Oh, looks like he will. The Void's there. There is no TP scroll. He's going to have to run away the good old-fashioned way, but the Arctic Bird ticks in. There will be another Void soon. RTK may also go down. Looks for the fissure into the trees and will escape. But it is going to cost him a lot of regen and may even have to go back to base. We'll see. For now, he's camping mid. Maybe he tries to turn this mid lane around. Shiki does still have that ward, but it won't,
XC on top.
Won't see RTK. And meanwhile, XC, well, he's kind of caught out here, but just keeps on sprinting to the right. He will get stun. Note, maybe off the mark there. XC, Surge cooling down, has the salve available. Maybe with another Slave, it's only level 1, and with the Poison Touch, should be enough for the kill. LGD do strike back, but that one forces a 4-hero rotation as RTK has just entirely abandoned this bottom lane for now.
And MMY is just a beast on the Tusk. That Ice Charge forcing him to run all the way right and allowing him to be cut off by the mid laners. Nice placement.
You know, Tusk is a pretty damn good hero, but there are good Tusk players and there are great ones, and MMY is definitely in the great ones.
There's those like places in the map you're like, there's no way they can lock me in with the Ice Shards here.
And then it's like he just like turned into an architect and just built the perfect prison. You're just crying, sobbing.
ROTK,
In your sleep.
the struggles continue.
This is just the offlane Shaker in action. If he doesn't get any help, how is he supposed to stay in the lane?
At least he hasn't died yet.
Yeah, that's true. But you compare this to the Darkseer. XC level 4 isn't being pressured either. And it feels like there's kind of this cascade effect from that early First Blood with 2 heroes now committed to the mid lane, and they're not really shutting down Shiki whatsoever, even in CS, still with the Bristleback. Ancient's not being stacked yet, something that we do often see, although they do have a single double stack up on the big camp here towards the mid lane. So the lane's looking really good for CDEC early on.
And Aggressive is getting free farm as opposed to maybe who has had to, leave the lane a little bit to try and help the Tusk pressure the Darkseer and has to deal with the Ion Shell. And Ion Shell's not easy as a range hero.
And it's Ion Shell with Ember and Night Stalker, like 2 of the best heroes just run at you and cause havoc. And they're getting their early levels as well.
And this Observer Ward early just peeks into DDC while he's stacking too.
Shiki wants to contest Sylar here. He's going to walk into a snowball. Blinks out. Shards. Beautiful. Oh, almost. Just barely failing to wrangle him in. That could have been a kill and a much needed one as well. But Shiki is going to suffer here for the regen now. Being denied that rune is the Bristleback grabs one. Garter forced to take the bounty rune away from the...
You said beautiful before he'd even hit.
I was expecting it. It pushed him out. It was like right there.
Yeah.
I caught myself then. Come on. You throw me under the bus, man.
Well, you do expect MMY to hit those.
Yeah.
I mean, he has some nice...
I think that was just Dota having mercy on Shiki. That's my theory anyway.
Oh, nighttime hits. Stack is not yet taken by LGD, and with Darkseer, Ember, and Queen in the game, you have to wonder whether or not CDEC are going to smoke up there at some point, or at least run in there with a Night Stalker and scout what's going on. Now it's looking to be a quad stack.
Ember is now level 6. He's got the jump potentially on RTK. No teleports in LGD. And they do have the lane ward as well, so they see him under the tower. This is the easiest possible kill if he gets caught. But for now, RTK is going to lunge back and hide.
They don't have vision around there.
Dire's bottom tower.
Well, they do have
is
the...
under
Oh, you
attack.
mean for LGD?
CDEC don't have...
Well, they have the lane ward, so they saw him at the
It
tower.
doesn't see that
It
far.
just barely saw him, but now he's backed off.
Oof.
RTK very far back. And Garter pressing in. He's got the level 1 silence as well here. Now DDC has rotated though. He senses that CDEC may want to go
Yeah,
for
but they have 3 heroes there now.
And there are now 3 TPs. It hits nighttime and LGD are like, okay, we need to be ready for this. Good adjustment by them. The chains are going to come through, interrupting the fissure. RTK manages to get up, but now they look to dive. Just kidding. They force the TP. They back off. MMY now has to rotate, and Garter looks to retreat, but they're looking to cut him off here. Sylar, oh, actually just wants the rune. The whole team hunting Garter, but Sylar is not.
Oh, he has no goo.
Radiant's top
Viscous
tower
needs
is
a
under
view.
attack.
Sounds about as disgusting
Radiant
as it is.
structures are fortified.
I mean, this is feeling like the dream start for CDEC, though. They got their fast levels and farm on the Ember. Already, your Darkseer has the level 3 Ion Shell. In fact, has cracked 6. Shiki had a pretty solid start mid, continues to do fine and get his levels. Night Stalker slipping a little bit in the experience department, but they're basically online now, Ben. All their key heroes.
Yep, Ember hits that level 7 mark and is just really, really scary with Ion Shell plus Flame Guard. That can break the game wide open, barring great plays from Tusk and perhaps Lina.
And LGD definitely fearful of that aggression. They plant 2 wards near the mid lane, both rather defensive ones.
Yeah, but that won't save you from like Ion Shell, TP into Remnant. So they have to be there with bodies, not only with vision.
That's where the TPs come into play, and they now have 4. They're definitely fearing the aggression, but it's not really coming from CDEC for now. They're content to farm, push out the lanes. Looks like they may try to reapply some pressure bottom as aggressive Garter and Q all congregate. Still Shiki sitting mid, but he's also ready to teleport if duty calls.
They're severely lacking levels on their supports, though. Both the Night Stalker and the Winter Wyvern are only level 3 from LGD.
Yeah, there's a slight advantage here for LGD if they've got 1 up to 4 in that Tusk. But then I guess that is somewhat balanced out by RTK struggling as they get off the Void aggressive. They give out the dive here, but while that was happening, maybe does find a kill. They're going to commit onto RTK. They will get him. So they lose the Darkseer top, but they grab the kill bottom lane.
And he still has that Ion Shell on the creep, so it's still going to push out the lane a little bit.
1 for 1 there, though. So the Darkseer being slowed down.
Dire's
But they get to, that's the benefit of having the Darkseer. Like generally, even when you die the lane, you won't lose your tower, which is pretty darn nice. And one of the deficiencies of
Dire's middle tower is
Earthshaker.
under attack.
While that's going on, Ancients are being stacked here. Just a double stack for now. And CDEC are going to get right into this. They drop the ward. They will not let the Bristleback grab anything for free. MMY on the hunt.
LGD already know, though. They saw him place it, and they pinged it out.
I'm just looking at the posture of aggressive. He's living up to his name here. Posted up way on the bottom lane, not afraid of getting ganked, and that is a concern for LGD. They don't have the easiest initiation on the Ember Spirit.
Still maybe working on his way to the Yules. Is their team fight really that good? I guess maybe if Bristle's in a really good position or is able to spray a lot of quills.
You've got Shaker, Tusk, so I guess you can never say the team fight's bad, but it's more, can you really hit that, 3-4 hero fissure
And counter
snowball?
the vacuum into Winter's Curse combo.
Right, you roll, that's the thing, you roll in against a Wyvern. Well, I mean, he's nowhere near level 6, but once he gets it, the punish is there. Yeah, very static laning stage again after the early rotations. It's been a pretty passive series for both teams, but it looks like aggressive. Maybe looks to change that up as RTK lurches forward bottom. No, he's too scared. He's not going to move out. The same happening top. Garter just hugging his tower. It's maybe is going to push in the lane now. These teams are just not really in any hurry to fight.
No, someone looking for level 6 from supports. If you're CDEC, ideally you want to fight under nighttime or with the help of darkness, and that's still not going to come for a couple of minutes. LGD looking to make a move with the Tusk.
Well, as you mentioned, it is now daytime. Could be a good opportunity to go for that kill. Maybe with the phase boots grabbed up here, a little extra mobility for him. XZ, the man that might get caught. There's the snowball. Shards will follow. Trapping XZ, and he drops the wall. Quickly gets zapped in the grill and will drop. MMY, though, is the trade. 1 for 1. They're looking for more. Ember arrives. They want to track down maybe here. And the 2 carry players want to duke it out. But Aggressive is going to get the upper hand, brings him down. They did manage to lose the Night Stalker on the other end of the fight, but Aggressive now finds his footing. He charges forward onto Sylar. Not an easy hero to take down, but he's going to try for it. That Flame Guard's wearing off soon, though. Don't think he can actually get this kill on his own. He'll need some assist. Shiki has the ultimate. He's trying to bait them in. Aggressive does do it. Shiki hanging onto the ult some more. Can he turn on Sylar? No blink. He's going to have to long ball it here if he goes. Ember buying back, re-engaging. No sleight of fist. He gets off the chains just barely. The quad ult's there. It's just enough damage with the chains. And Aggressive now finds himself on the wrong side of a fissure, or perhaps the right side, because he keeps on running in. In the end, will be forced back. That was a very early buyback. They get the Ion Shell up now, and they look for more. MMY is next, backed into the burning swords of Aggressive will find the kill. Well, an early buyback, Ben, but it does result in 2 extra kills.
I think that was worth it for him in the end. Without the kill on the Tusk, I don't think it would have been worth it, but they end up killing the Lina too, which is a pretty big deal. Slowing down her Yules is imperative, and she has to get a Yules versus like the Night Stalker who's going to be able to silence her up very early on in fights.
They also got their level 6 on Q in part off of that fight, so now they have the Winter's Curse.
Still a very delayed mech coming out from XZ because of the 3 deaths.
Aggressive, just toying with maybe here. Doesn't have the remnants available, or he could have gone for that. It does drop him quite low. Oh, a little bit of aggression. And now we see an early grab of the Vanguard for Sylar. So are you expecting the full Crimson Guard this game?
It's okay versus Sleight of Fist, but other than that, I might need to build more support items. I don't think they have a mech coming out on their team soon. Usually MMY built the mech, but he doesn't even have his Arcane Boots yet.
Yeah, he's pretty poor. So you think skip that and go for the mech maybe, then an AC or something like that? BKB?
I mean, I think eventually you want to finish up the Crimson Guard, but maybe like a SNY or a mech first before. But I think Crimson Guard is okay here. Versus like Winter's Curse, I think is pretty useful. Darkseer wall.
We'll see if that's the choice. For now, Sylar saving up a bit of gold. Dire Squad did manage to get off into the Radiant jungle. And they planted down a relatively deep Observer Ward. They did it at night as well, so kind of a risky maneuver, but ends up paying off. See Aggressive pushing in that top lane. Not going to see any Boots of Travel. Just went for the very early treads. And now I believe has the drums on the way on the courier. Indeed he does. So kind of your typical Aggressive build. There is a roll in the bottom lane though. Big snowball dive from MMY, but he's gone too far. He's been baited in deep, and now he may end up dropping. They get the curse off with the back combo from XZ. Beautifully played. The Splinter Blast coming in as well. And now Aggressive is starting to get in range for the fight, maybe. Caught out turns with a go to Echo as well. Big commitment, but Ember arrives, locks onto RTK, tries for the TP out. Is there a way to cancel this? The Vax cooling out. Ember dumping in deeper. Shiki's joining the fray as well. This is CDEC playing their classic aggression, and once more, it does pay off. A 3 for 1.
Wow, that teamwork from them too. They just, as soon as they saw the Lina in a bad position, boom, Winter's Curse, everyone just turns on her and just kills her. If they didn't have that quick of a turn on her, Grave would have come in on the Dazzle, and instead they were able to just kill maybe and keep slowing down his Yule Scepter. He wasn't even able to spend his unreliable gold before he died.
It just seems like LGD are not ready for the diving that's coming as bottom lane. There is a jump onto RTK and burned down by the Ion Shell. Flame Guard once more. CDEC just styling on LGD, and it's really feeling like they don't have control for this Ember. He may even go back in. Maybe he's TP'd in. Is there a dodge on the snowball? No, he still gets caught. Punch. Do they have the follow-up? Not just yet. Able to zip away. Space created for the rest of the team.
Yeah, he's kind of pushing the hero to the limit, forcing them to, you know, TP in, save, and if not for the Tusk, I think Lina would have died there.
How do they deal with this position in the game now?
They had to play a lot smarter during nighttime. You had a Tusk solo snowballing someone during nighttime, and this is pretty close to their T1 without their T1 up. So they're desperate for getting kills so they can make their way back into the game, and they don't want it to end up how it was last game, where Aggressive just farms out of control and eventually just dominates their whole team. So instead, they're trying to make some more aggressive moves, but you know, it's nighttime. Night Stalker's already level 6. It's just not the best time to do so.
Well, the Knight still a little bit left here. Garter has managed to crack level 7.
Managed to see a smoke up in near the mid lane. LGD making their way to the jungle.
Unfortunately for them, there won't be any heroes to find, but perhaps they can at least grab the tier 1. It'll be a bit slow going, though. Not the strongest pushing lineup here. Ideally, I would like to find that pick first, but it's not coming. Aggressive, meanwhile, is going to look to cut the wave mid, perhaps, starting to work on that tier 1 together with Shiki. Two big carry players.
They kind of just always ignore the Bristleback. They know that his mobility can't be matched, or his mobility can't match the Ember Spirits, so they get the Ember Spirit to kind of
rolling on Shiki, and Shiki is gone. A little giggle there from the Lina.
Yeah, just underestimation of the Earthshaker's initiation range. The Fissure into other stun combo is one that just catches so many people off guard. You're like, okay, I can see it's nighttime. I feel pretty comfortable, and then boom, Fissure from like 1,500 range away.
Yeah, so they see the roll mid. They lose their Lina, or their Queen of Pain to the Lina rather, and they're like, okay, great, let's smoke right now. Fight at the bottom lane. There's just no stopping CDEC from going for these kills. RTK will get caught out the point, as well as the silence deployed, and also dead. Kill number 7, aggressive, continues to ramp up, and now hunting for Siler. He's cursed, surrounded, and beaten down. His own illusion even turned against him. Well, as quickly as they get the 1 kill, CDEC hunting for more, aggressive, charging forward, doesn't have the chains for a few seconds, has an additional remnant, could commit for this one, actually has 2 available, chains are there, grabs maybe once more, and then dives past him towards MMY, even looking for another kill. Now he'll settle for that. But again and again, CDEC just keep on punishing LGD.
That window for them was so small in order to catch out those 2 heroes on the bottom lane. ROTK was set in a position that he could like fissure and cover Siler's track if they wanted to run away. But again, the Bristleback is kind of the hero that has been isolated. He hasn't really been in line in the front line. You need him in front so that the Night Stalker and the Ember Spirit can't just walk by.
Another dive, ROTK, he's in pretty far here. Aggressive jumps the Remnant behind him, but then pops the Drum Charger, runs forward. He's got the escape plan available. They look to lock him down, they commit the Echo. No, he zips away, Houdini! Making it out, even dodging the shards which were chasing him. Oh my, he's just playing with LGD.
I think that was like 11 or 12 HP.
I'm not sure he planned it quite that way, but it just feels like the story of this game. Everything's working for the man.
Yeah, he's been playing very, very well. Just all up in their face all the time.
Are you a little surprised they got the Ember last pick?
Yes, I am.
They already had?
Well, from their mindset, it's like, wow, the PL, we thought we had a good lineup for the PL and we still lost to him. Why don't we just ban it out to be safe? But from an objective point of view, it did seem like Ember was a much better pick. It's much better suited for this type of game. There's no direct counters to him, great synergy with the Ion Shell, and a natural aggressive hero.
Well, LGD looking for the comeback now, are going to make their way into the Roche pit.
I think they should give it to Maybe, though, instead of Siler, just because Siler hasn't really...
Like you said, he just gets kited.
Threatened.
Yeah, and ignored largely. Well, they grab the Aegis. Time for CDEC to charge in, seems to be the call. All right, they'll think about it. They were looking for that fight. If LGD walk up their ramp, they definitely would have gone.
Well, they wanted to see if anyone was low, but they aren't because of Urn and Dazzle heal.
They still have the lane ward mid. So they want to try and swing around for a side swipe here. It doesn't look like it. Top lane is beginning to push though, and that tower very low. So they're going to send 4 that way. Aggressive will hold the mid line. He's closing in on the Battle Fury now.
But now CDEC are just looking for opportunities where Bristleback isn't there. But now that there's not as many options because Lina has the Aegis, and she's actually getting her farm in finally.
If the teams just trade farm and this goes later, do you see much hope for LGD being able to take it at that point?
I mean, Bristol, we saw how difficult it was for them to take it out on bottom. They even committed the wall and the Winter's Curse on a 4v1 situation just because they're scared of his damage output. And combine that with the Dazzle Weave, those Quill Sprays are just going to do immense amounts of damage. So you can't kite him forever. Eventually, like if he's getting tired of getting kited, he'll just get a BKB, or they'll get 4 staffs and Glimmer Cake so that he can kind of do what he wants. But now LGD, they're in a very, very good formation. It's like, okay, Siler's up in front, and our weak supports, especially ROTK without the blink, are protected.
It definitely seems like LGD is the team that wants the organized fight with the kind of clunkier, slower heroes like the Earthshaker and Dazzle, the Bristle who needs to be tanking, where CDEC have these ultra mobile, backstabbing type heroes.
Especially with the darkness. That's I think their main key to win these fights later.
RTK has been backed, silenced, and should be taking down here with the Soul Burn. Drops indeed, and Shiki grabs another kill. This has not been the best series for RTK so far. That crucial pickoff when he was mid is the Darkseer last game, and he's dying quite a few times here as well.
Well, I kind of liked how XZ played the last game. He wasn't getting that much from the lane. He played very safely, and then he tried to just fissure from long range and get kills until he had his Blink Dagger. But ROTK instead has been trying to farm his way into his Blink as opposed to kill and then farm.
Rather than let them come to him.
Yeah, it's not a good path for Earthshaker, only having 1,000 gold right now. I mean, Night Stalker is already going to be able to fight him out pretty easily, and then combine it with the fact that he doesn't have a blink, and Garter may have a scepter by the, like maybe 5-10 minutes after he gets his blink, and echoes are going to be hard to find.
Especially with the night vision and the Ember Spirit in the game, just so good at catching him out. Do you see maybe Invis right now?
I mean, even like the Orchid coming out too, or like an instant Winter's Curse following an Echo.
They have a lot of ways to shut him down.
But CDEC might have forced him into this position, though. They last banned out the Clockwork fully expecting an ROTK hero to be last.
Well, they definitely know their LGD, and you know that's where some teams do run the offlane Tusk, but MMY is always the Tusk, and it's always a support. So
ROTK plays it occasionally.
yeah, not this tournament though. I think every game that they've run at this event, it has been MMY. And, I mean, certainly he's been magnificent on the hero. It's tough to argue with it, but does maybe tip your hand a bit more as far as the draft goes. So LGD group up 5 top. This Aegis has about a minute and a half or so. Do you think CDEC look for a fight, or do they just split push and wait?
Not this top tower. This top tower is just not good positioning for them. They are just not set up. Like, maybe you go for a wraparound, but I think they're really waiting for the Darkseer Blink Dagger. And then once they have that, they can fight, because they'll coincide with the time of the Aegis expiring on Lina. So, what, 1 minute left? That's okay. You're in a pretty comfortable position if you're CDEC, and you don't have to take this fight. The T1 tower doesn't really mean that much to you right now. It's not like it's controlling your jungle. It's not like CDEC are farming Ancients. So.
And now Aggressive has his Battle Fury. Shiki up to 1600 gold. As you mentioned, the Darkseer Blink online. So they've gotten a couple of key items during this time.
But what this will mean is that CDC, their aggression was stalled because of the Aegis. So like come 5, 6, 7 minutes from now, they're going to be really concerned about protecting the area, warding it up, maybe throwing a remnant in there, because that's kind of been their only wrench in their plans this entire game.
They are on the smoke now. Nighttime has fallen for a bit, and they are hunting. Garter.
They see Sylar mid, and they're immediately like, okay, we can pick off these weak supports behind or find anyone else, because he's somewhat isolated. And there's a very small window in between where he's going to hook up to the rest of his team, but looks like they won't find that.
They don't have Aggressive with them. I think they were banking on that push mid and then go for the 5-man surround, but didn't actually materialize. Instead, LGD swing towards the bottom lane now. They do have Sylar being scouted out here. And it's going to be 4 minutes until the next Roshan respawn, so this will be a window for CDEC if they don't want to fight into the pit to fight before it spawns.
Oh, we see a smoke from LGD on from behind. I don't know if it was under the Observer Ward, but it might have been.
Oh, XC, such a crucial here to get caught, but he blinks out. They're going to slowly chase after Garter. The Gouda stack up, but this will give time for CDEC to prep on the high ground.
I think they saw
Sylar, and they leave Aggressive and Reserve. He chains out the Earthshaker, who doesn't have a blink just yet, very close to it. A shot in the dark from MMY, but doesn't find anyone with the shards. CDEC, they got to the high ground. They have the AoE combo, and LGD just don't want to risk it.
A good use of darkness, though. They won't have vision to, like, let's say, Snowball or Eels combo somebody. And Earthshaker's actually really close to Blink now, just 50 gold away.
No, looks like RTK should be able to grab it with this wave. Chucks out the fissure, and there's the blink. We saw last game, the blink on Earthshaker can just completely change the game, even if it's only a 1-hero echo. Could be the death of Aggressive, who they desperately need to kill, as Sylar is scouted out in the river, but Aggressive is busy cutting off the backlines. Isolates DDC, and CDEC will retreat.
They don't have vision. They don't know if the Shaker has blink right now. It's about that time, and you want to be able to find him out so you can at least Orchid him.
So LGD stay clumped up in the mid lane, and I guess at this point they're just waiting for the next Roshan.
Well, they need to keep their farm up too. Sylar needs to keep on doing ancient stacks, and it's daytime, so they have a little bit more movement around the map. So they just need to make sure that they don't fall too far behind in terms of farm.
On the mid lane they go. They are going to curse Sylar. They're committing for this one, but they don't have the full team here.
They know that Earthshaker has blink. They all split up.
Oh, the chains is there, interrupting LGD's jump forward as Aggressive rolls back. The snowball coming in. MMY, they want to turn on him now. Quickly burst him down if possible. Silence. There's the back. The wall. My God, my kingdom for a curse. They don't have it. Maybe they don't need it. The scream and the sleight of fist almost finished off 2 of those squishy backliners, and now a remnant forward. Aggressive out for blood. Hot on the trail. Will bring down DDC. Another pickoff. Sylar may have survived, but the rest of the team is in shambles. The CDEC just completely outmaneuver LGD again.
Again, it's all aggressive. Firstly, he's on the high ground, so they get vision of the Shaker, so they see his blink. Secondly, he baits the snowball into like the Radiant Ancients so that they're forced to fight on the terms they don't really want to. After that, he sleight of fist the Earthshaker so he can't blink, and then all of them just converge after they get sight from a sleight of fist to drop a vacuum.
Imagine if they had Winter's Curse there. That's a 5-man wipe, probably.
That was just
scary.
Aggressive, just doing all the right things for his team. Getting vision and pulling them into a bad position is no easy feat.
Well, maybe showed off an incredible Ember Spirit at TI5, but Aggressive says 2 can play at that game, and
Dyer's
he's even
top
going to go the
tower
same
is
build
under
here. Grabs the
attack.
early Blink Dagger, something might maybe really paved the way for back at that event.
But that's LGD's best shot. It's daytime, there's no darkness, and you just got the Blink Dagger. Like, when you don't have any of those tools, the last tool left is the Aegis. Without the Aegis, they have no chance of winning a fight realistically.
And it is so risky to go into the pit against this combo.
I mean, but what else do you do? If you wait for night, darkness is already up, and there's, what, 100 seconds left until darkness? So half of that will be taken up by Night Stalker's ultimate, and then after that, you have to wait for 4
Aggressive
minutes.
just jumps in mid, and
Dyer's
okay,
top
back he
tower
goes.
is under attack.
Thought he didn't have a Remnant there for a second, but he is prepared as always. So yeah, that Roshan, if it is the next objective, it's coming soon. Only looks like maybe 15 seconds or so to go. But there's a catch mid on Sylar. Not going to follow that one up. Any moment now, the big rock will be back.
Yeah, but it's about time to pop darkness. You might as well pop it at 27:10, and then when it ends, it'll be 28, and then nighttime for the next 4, and then that's the time that I think, and as well as all their ultimates cooling down. So this is about the time for them to try and seal the deal.
Well, they're going to send the Ember Spirit towards top, trying to bait somebody back as the tower just gets chipped away on creeps, and nobody comes to defend. Maybe CDEC going to start to suspect that Roshan might be in the cards. They'll clear out the wave.
Yeah, they're not actually in position to defend it, though. But at least they'll get a
not
T2 at a
Tower
minimum.
is under attack.
And they're actually grouping up for a smoke right now.
Well, tower will die to creep, so Aggressive plays it safe, is going to back off. Rest of
Dyer's
the team
top tower
waiting for
is
their
falling.
carry player to rejoin them.
It's a little bit slow. Like LGD, they potentially could have taken Roche. It would have been super YOLO and super risky, but that's kind of like their only chance.
Their
I would say.
position, yeah.
Their position kind of demands that they have to take that sort of risk.
There is a ward that's scouted out RTK, and in fact, the way that they've traveled, they might run straight into the freight chain that is CDEC, and they jump in. It's RTK caught out again. Then the Remnant forward from Aggressive, already looking for the second kill. He knows the first one secured. They chase forward on the Sylar, up to the high ground. The BKBs come out. Beautiful Clop connection. Easy kills left and right here for CDEC as they jump forward. Another Remnant, another grab. There's the chains. DDC down as well. 4 have fallen. It's about to be 5. The curse, it wasn't even needed, and now it's deployed onto Sylar. Tries to run to the well, can't make it out. Chopped armadillo for dinner, and this just might be the end.
Dyer's top tower is under
LGD,
attack.
everywhere they go. CDEC are 20 steps ahead of them.
They do a really good job of playing around the bristleback, though. And I mean, we've seen very few bristlebacks without Wisp, but when they are picked, it's usually like in an offensive dual lane with the Dazzle plus Bristle to put some pressure on the enemy carry, or it's versus a Broodmother. And this is one of the biggest weaknesses of the hero. Like if you're the last one alive and you can't put out enough pressure, he's kind of useless. They just ran by him. All his supports are very, very poor. And if he farms out alone, his team can't take a fight because there's not that BB front line.
They just don't seem to have the tools to shut down the Ember Spirit at this point. 11-1-7. He's been in on 18 out of 22 kills. And he's kept up his farm, sitting very close to the Bristleback. He's had 4 heroes behind him most of the game. Very impressive showing, and now they're going to move over towards the Dire Ancients. Aggressive will farm those as well. CDEC using the map well here, keeping their economy going even after a great team fight, and the graphs reflect it. Shooting up to over a 14,000 gold lead, similar on the experience.
Aggressive is just
comfortable advantage.
really good about not dying, though. Like, some carry players will try and make these plays and then just give away 1 or 2 deaths, which will just, nullify all of your hard work because of how high on net worth he is. But Aggressive is just, he only did that one time in mid where he fought back, and here we go with the last blow. They already have a Remnant in there, though. It's sitting behind. I don't even know if...
They do see it, looking at Sylar's vision, but they're not reacting to it. They're still working on it. They're almost begging CDEC to come, and I think CDEC are going to oblige. They've got the combo up. LGD are not actually scouted up that hill, but CDEC expect them to be in the neighborhood. So in the end, LGD are going to have to back down. And now a blink on Q. Even more ways to find that dominant team fight that just spells doom for LGD.
Yeah, they don't have eyes on Night Stalker. They don't know if he actually has his.
Look at aggressive. The 2 hero chains. They were trying to deward and he set up the fight. The team's gonna follow. They snowball and try to hang on. The back was committed. They still have a wall. They still have a curse here if they need it. The quad bolt finishes up DDC. There's the echo from RTK, but they need more backup. They've jumped into the curse and Sylar's burning. The ion shell's bringing him down. He's almost dead. A blink, a scream. He tries to run, but the vampire's on the hunt. And elsewhere, aggressive was looking to dive a little bit further. Sylar diving, retreating down the mid lane, wants to get the hell away. 4 heroes streaming after him. Finally, they'll bring him down. Another death here for LGD. It looked like they had the good counter initiate from RTK, but there's just too many ways to turn the fight for CDEC.
It's actually crazy. It doesn't matter what hero aggressive is. He always is able to start off the fight. Ember Spirit.
And survive, apparently.
It doesn't matter. Well, that was a really good winner's curse.
2 hero chains, and then the follow-up comes from Q. He caught out maybe as well. They're looking to go on this. The back's there. They slow him down. They poke at him. He's going to throw out the Yule Scepter, trying to hang on to his own life, but aggressive is into the fray again. He gets the chains once more. CDEC just keep on punching LGD, and they can't seem to take the beating. Cheeky, though. He'll go down at least. Something. A consolation prize. They get off the fissure, looking for more. Beautiful enchant totem. RTK is going to turn this fight. They've dropped 2. They might lose XZ. Gets off the surge. The chase continues. They have a blink soon. Fissure available. But already, the Darkseer's backing off. Q up on the high ground will also retreat. And they're not going to pursue any further. So in the end, they do force out the buyback there on the Bristleback. Gets a couple of kills for the team, but only a small consolation as they're unable to bring down this out-of-control Ember.
But at this point, you kind of have to go for Roche. You are so far behind that you need 2 lives on Bristleback in order to maybe even think about winning a large-scale 5-on-5.
And already he's scouting it. Lucian's immediately into the pit. This guy just, no quarter is given by aggressive this game. This series. XC tried to back Sylar up onto the high ground. They do lock him down, but he's Sleight of Fist, dodging away from an enchant totem, and then jumps out. The snowball dragging MMY away from the main engagement. The main engagement happens to the south, where XC's been caught out. He blinks out. The Glimmer Cape used to keep him alive, and now the Axe is up on the Night Stalker. So the Vision game will tip dramatically towards CDEC from here
and
on.
now he's bought enough time for all the heroes to revive. 2 on the side of CDEC, 1 on the side of LGD.
And he's catching them as well. He's jumped 1. Sylar, not the easiest target to bring down. Into the pit he goes. But like you said, Ben, they're all back now, and they've got the combo, the back into curse.
Still no wall though, so maybe not really willing to take the fight. They still have a good amount left on nighttime. 3 minutes left, so they're not in really that big of a rush. And as you said, the Night Stalker Axe is just going to prove even more problematic for Earthshaker. I thought Earthshaker had a good ult last game. The only problem was he didn't get the Winter Wyvern, and then the Winter Wyvern cursed the Bristleback, which forced the Earthshaker to run over and start beating on him.
It is the power of this type of draft. You've got so many ways to turn the fight. If you don't catch the Ember, he can maybe just kill you. Obviously, that Wyvern or Darkseer can really interrupt things, and it's just been hard for LGD to find that picture-perfect fight. They are looking for it now on the move. They smoked. But CDEC don't get caught. Aggressive blinks in. He drops the Sleight of Fist in the middle of the trees, and that zips out, thwarting LGD at every possible turn. They have managed to lock in XZ, but do they really want to go? Shiki's up on the high ground. There's the curse. The back as well. Getting ready for some AoE. They buy back the Queen of Pain, and they're going to look to run forward. Aggressive, slashing his way through DDC. Beyond godlike. Somebody kill this guy. Finally, they get the job done. It's a big commitment, but LGD desperately needed that. Unfortunately, it may cost them their Sylar. He turns his back, still takes the quad bolt, and into the fray again. They killed him once. Aggressive Remnant T4. The Echo not quite connecting on him, and now he's going to find 2 more. Gets the chains on RTK, breaks him down as well. 4 heroes dead. CDEC, no mercy once again. Even when you think LGD have a good fight, they still get punished.
That was pretty good. They caught Shiki out without his BKB.
It was a gold loss here, but the lanes are now pushing against LGD, and CDEC might even look for a lane of Rax.
I admire how LGD take the fight outside the base, though. If CDEC aren't all there, or if Winter Wyvern doesn't have a blink, let's say, they get an easy pick, and then they sneak out a Roche, and then they still have a fighting chance.
BKB up now on the Lino. We'll see if that makes a difference. CDEC, though, trying to bait out these buybacks. They're not going to be forthcoming. Tusk will respawn soon, so doesn't want to use his, but crucially, the Bristleback is not available. They will deploy the Weave here, making CDEC a little more squishy. Maybe. Being given a bit of bonus armor from the Medallion as CDEC continue to slice away at objectives. Just poking on the melee. They're going to dive onto maybe. BKB forced out. And he will back off, but that's the 10-second. Down the drain, CDEC chains it again, but this time it's a kiting maneuver. They're not actually looking for kills. ROTK, Blake forward, got the fissure to start this one off. The enchant totem attention, MMY jumping in, but aggressive looks to turn and punish. Gets the chains up, there's the grave. LGD, they've got the whole gang back now. Looks like CDEC really need to get out, and no, aggressive wants to go back in. Typical. Okay, now he's back. Good job covering the retreat.
Queen of Pain's actually fallen a little behind in terms of farm, already behind the Lina, but still, Bristleback, if not really accounted for, will stack up on his sprays. He was able to do a ton of damage in the last fight, especially with a weave up.
Yeah, it definitely feels like they want to be playing those long fights with the Dazzle, the Bristle. CDEC very much about that big combination, the Vac, the wall, the Curse, and the Ember Spirit over the top.
Yeah, they really have to have a good echo, though, on ROTK. Too many times he's been hit by Splinter Shards or a Sleight of Fist, usually, and just been unable to connect on the Blink Echo. And
is there like an item he could buy that could make a difference
some people
here?
like Shadow Blade, but he is just way too farmed. Generally, the progression is like Blink, Force into Shadow Blade if you're having a lot of trouble jumping, but smokes work okay, too. I don't know if they have any smokes left. Doesn't look like it. But, I mean, with the Night Stalker Axe, what realistically can you do?
We'll see if they have any answers. LGD did complete their Assault Cuirass now on Sylar. Pretty big pick up there for the Bristleback. Also managed to grab the Solar Crest on the Dazzle, so he does become very tanky. And we saw last fight just how difficult the guy is to bring down.
Yeah, they just have to be really patient and wait for CDEC to like slightly overcommit on the Bristleback and have a lapse in positioning and try and wait for maybe a 3-man clump, and then just be really quick about dumping your spells.
Well, with the buybacks having been used up on their 2 carries, CDEC really want that extra life that an Aegis provides. And they're going to walk into the pit and try to grab it now. Sylar, I think he may have walked in vision of the Spirit. Yeah, looks like they did scout him, but they're going to back off instead. Very safe play knowing that the buybacks are on cooldown. Though, to be fair, they still have a tier 1 up mid, so it's not like a lane of racks will be easy for LGD.
Well, staying in the pit will open them up for a Blink Echo Slam, or like a fissure into a Blink Echo, which would just be really bad for them.
They did get a blink on MMY at long last. He's definitely struggled a bit more on the Tusk this game. 2 and 7, not his usual performance. But maybe he can go in first and just let RTK kind of sit back, wait for the right opening as the Bristle charges in. It's going to reveal Smoke. Shiki quickly there with the Shadow Strike, but they really want these backlighters aggressive, trying for it from the high ground. Didn't get the chains off though, and now Q jumps in. Beautiful Curse there, catches out 2 heroes, then the wall, the back combos, the Quapple comes through. They bring down DDC, now hunting on the maybe. ROTK once again doesn't get anything off. He's silenced and then suddenly he's dead. So it's going to be up to Sylar and MMY as they also lose their Lina. Ember Spirit just zipping above in the heavens, and now finds the chains. Jumping onto Sylar, not looking so tanky after all. Trying to back off low, but they continue to kite, control him. Silence, Remnants forward, and they get it done. 4, 5 hit the deck. CDEC again and again, just outfighting LGD. Better initiation, better vision.
GG.
And just a flawless performance here. 2-0ing LGD. Big brother has met his maker.
It takes a lot of discipline to just completely ignore the Bristleback. We saw the Ember Spirit like Sleight of Fist, the 2 heroes to the left. We saw the Night Stalker wrap around to the back and isolate the Earthshaker. They just did an excellent job of always finding ROTK and just kind of ignoring the Bristleback and eliminating his teammates.
And this is what generally happens with CDEC, because they get the early lead and then they never look back. Last game they had to make an adjustment because they were struggling a bit early. They showed their versatility in doing that, Ben, but I wonder where you pin this one. Is it on the draft? Is it on the execution? A little bit of both?
Maybe even the laning.
Yeah, that could be it too, but
the Earthshaker wasn't able to stand up in the lane. The Bristleback gave up a very early death too, so just, not LGD's game.
Impressive showing by CDEC here, though. They are going to move on in the winner's bracket. They look good as they enter the semifinals. They'll have some time to get ready for their next opponent, but while they're doing that, guys, we're going to hand it back to the panel so they can break this game down a bit further. Paul, over to you.
Thank you very much, LD. Yes, back on the panel right now, where 2 of us are, 2 of us are quite smug right now, and 2 of us look pretty dumb.
And handsome.
That doesn't make up for the fact that you got that horrendously wrong.
On one hand, I guessed wrong.
Here come the excuses.
On the other hand, LGD were so
was
close.
wrong.
Okay.
So I'm pretty happy right now. I don't know.
Really?
You missed my heel.
I even included you in the handsomeness.
Joking aside, draft, execution, laning. Which one? Take your pick or all of them?
All three, I think. I feel like CDEC just performed to their usual standards, so to speak.
Yeah.
I feel like aggressive is a monster.